and a scientist. Does this virus frighten you?
Every time I'm involved in an epidemic, it frightens me.
Illness is now being called, spreads far more rapidly than SARS.
Thanks very much for joining me in this video. I have I've started up this channel about a year ago. Just as a disclaimer, it has no subscribers. No, it's got 3 subscribers and 116 views, and it's in no way to jump on any bandwagon, just as a disclaimer. And I'm not here to criticise anybody. I just feel myself that I've got to put something out there. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been looking at the internet, news, media, newspapers, etc. And this is basically to allay my fears as much as anybody else's. And what I've done is, over the last few days, I've been trying to do a video, and as everything's changed, it's changed a lot of the data and a lot of the things that I was going to put up. And I was going to throw everything away and just say, to hell with it, I'm not doing anything, but I decided to go back into it. I'll also leave links below to everything that I'm going to talk about today. Where do we start? Well, there's no real format for starting this. It's been such a strange journey for myself. But I'm going to start with our own Scottish Parliament, because I was watching a lot of the sessions in the Scottish Parliament, including Prime Minister's Question Time. And when I was in the site, in the actual Scottish Parliament website, I noticed that they don't have anything actually up on the front page on the Scottish Parliament website, which I think is quite bad. The only thing that they've got is COVID-19 guidance for visitors. Now, I thought that was guidance for visitors coming into the country, but it's guidance to visitors to the actual Scottish Parliament. And when you go into that tab, it just gives you advice about visiting the Scottish Parliament. It is still open at this time on Sunday. It's Sunday the 15th of March, and the Scottish Parliament is still opened, which I find is quite strange. There's no information on there about COVID-19 coronavirus guidance. If you do go into the Scottish Parliament, when you eventually get through it, there is advice in back pages. The other thing that I noticed when I was in the Scottish Parliament, although they've got Scottish Parliament TV, it would be very simple for Scottish Parliament TV to actually set up an information video to put on the website, and they've not done this. So again, I'm not here to criticise anybody, but criticism must be laid where it's due. The other thing that came to light while going into the Scottish Parliament website was the fact that the first item of the latest news that they've got, it's not coronavirus. The first item they've got on it is actually about the fact that billions of pounds of benefits have not been claimed, and the Scottish Government has to work together to resolve this situation. We'll come to that in a later bit. The thing that bothers me, apart from the whole fact that we're actually under this humongous threat, is that our own government is not doing enough. When you go onto the Scottish Government website, and you look at their information again on their front page, if you go to the home page and you look up coronavirus, you get taken to their information, and all of their information is basically small videos with no sound, no instructions other than actually on the screen. And when you go into one of the videos, which is hosted by YouTube, and I'll just do that just now. No, that's the wrong one. And this is the Scottish Government website. And when you go into that video, which, let me say, is only 13 seconds long, what you can actually tell people in 13 seconds, I don't know. And if you play the video, you're actually, all you're doing is watching words coming up, the best way to protect yourself, etc. Wash your hands, catch your cough or sneeze. And these are highlighted points. Follow the returning travel advice. And then it gives you the website. And in the time that I've actually said that, that's the time that that video has taken to play. There is no way in this God's good earth that that information is going to get across to people in that format. There's no sound, there's no verbal instruction. Now if we go to, there's a gentleman, a Dr John Campbell, who's a retired nurse down in England somewhere. He made an actual video of how to wash your hands. Now, this is a video that is exactly the same instructions that clinicians are given when they're washing their hands when they're treating patients. Now, why our government can't have a video like that to instruct people on how best to wash their hands, and I know it sounds stupid and silly, but as he explains, you wash your hands, you'll run them under the tap, but you forget your thumbs, an important part, to clean them. It just strikes me as absolutely letting the country down. We're putting up a 13-second video that just tells you to wash your hands, catch your cough and sneeze, and then gives you the government website address. And if you go through any of their other information on the website, again, it's small clips, just with words, no video. If you're trying to entice people and capture people's attention, you're not going to capture people's attention with just a blank screen that just keeps coming up with words all the time. It's just like selling anything else. If you've not got a visual stimuli, you're not going to be concentrating and watching it. We're in the modern world, and I think we can do better than just flashing words coming up on a screen. Both the Scottish Health Secretary and the UK Health Secretary need to actually do more about informing people what they're actually doing on the ground, and give us statistics and information about, for instance, how many respirators are actually in the National Health Service at the moment, and how many they're actually going to try and get a new supply of. Today on Sky News, Matt Hancock actually made this statement.
Well, you've heard me say many times that we don't make guarantees in healthcare. This virus is clear.
So if he's not making any guarantees, and he was talking about, he was asked a question about respirators and what we're doing to actually get more respirators to cope with the amount of patients that are going to come into the health service. And this isn't just about people getting COVID-19. This is about people who are on a daily basis becoming ill, having accidents. How is the health service going to cope? And we have probably went through, 10 years of austerity in the health service, and it's very difficult. My own personal situation, my mother has been ill for the last 5 years, and I've come across many problems in the health service, and unfortunately my wee mum died last year. But this situation can't go on where they're not giving us enough information. In the case of being off sick, when someone who's self-employed or on a 0-hour contract, the situation there that the government's saying is that these people will get their statutory sick pay, or they'll get universal credit. Now, again, my own personal situation, and I've seen it throughout the years, I actually tried with this channel to make a video on the benefit system, and I understand the benefit system at some level more than the people that are trying to service the benefit. And I've gave employees of the DWP some relevant information when they've been trying to say otherwise. But that's a different situation altogether, or is it? In the benefit system, if you go on SSP, JSA or universal credit, it's such a mix and it's such a confusing and very difficult thing to do. And I think a lot of people who have not been unemployed for the last 10, 20 years will get a real shock when they have to go and actually claim for either statutory sick pay or universal credit, because they're either self-employed on 0-hour contracts, or they're a manager in a company that's went to the wall and they have to go and actually try and get benefit to keep their family, or they're looking for a job, which is another thing that's going to become a problem. In the benefit system, again, if we go back to the Scottish Parliament, and what they were discussing was the fact that there's billions of pounds which have been unclaimed. And they state that the problem with a lot of the problems with the DWP is the lack of communication between departments. And I've faced that myself when I've had to get a sick note, go on JSA, and then I'm also getting universal credit. And the two departments don't talk to one another. I have to supply the sick note to the JSA, and then I have to take or post in a copy to the Department of Work and Pensions. Now, people are sitting there thinking, and that's okay. But if you think that at the moment, if you're going on to universal credit, you have to wait 5 weeks before you get your first payment, and that's going to be a big problem for a lot of families. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people going to further understand the situation with the unemployed, the people that are the people who are on low incomes and have to rely on the state for help. They go on further to say that it's a very onerous application system, that the two departments or departments within the DWP are not talking to one another. They also talk about the stigma attached to claiming. I don't think there'll be any stigma from now on, and possibly a bit more understanding. So I think that Jeannie Freeman, as well as Matt Hancock, are going to have to give us more information, give us more guidelines. There's nothing on the websites with the British government website or the Scottish government website about any changes in claim and benefit. So they have to get on with that as well. And I understand that people are it is going to take time for all these departments to get together and sort these situations out and satisfy the people of Scotland and the people of the UK that they are working, as they say, together. Also, in the case of equipment that's needed for the health service to provide healthcare to those that are going to be sick and the ones that are actually sick at the moment, Matt Hancock was talking about personal protection equipment. Matt Hancock actually said that personal protection equipment is in short supply, even as we speak. Now, I've seen the personal protection equipment, and I'm not saying that it's not adequate, but there's been tweets from people in the health service who are saying that the equipment is inadequate, the self-protection equipment. Channel 4 did a programme just the other night. Of course, they could only question a certain amount of people in the health service. I think it was 1,000 people. And 98% of them said that the personal protection equipment was inadequate. And when you look at the equipment that they've actually got, it looks as if they got it for Poundland. I'm no expert. I don't understand what you need to protect yourself from this virus. I don't think the government knows what you need to do to protect yourself from this virus. And the people providing the healthcare at the ground level don't seem to think that this equipment is adequate for the job. So again, I would urge Matt Hancock and Jeannie Freeman to actually give us more information on this. When you go to the global reaction to this pandemic, it seems that we are not even listening to the World Health Organization, never mind other countries that are dealing with a tremendous strain on their health service. Last week when I was looking at how the Americans were handling it in the early stages, they seem to have a better handle on it than most, and looking at the likes of Italy and China to learn how to deal with it. They have had not only scientists, they've had people from the Centre of Disease Control, they've had the FDA, they've had the Department of Defence, all sitting in a meeting in Congress and discussing what their plan is to tackle this virus. And I don't think that two scientists standing either side of Boris Johnson is actually making an impact on people when their only advice is sing happy birthday and wash your hands. Now, again, I'm not trying to criticise MD, I'm putting this out there, and hopefully what I'm saying will help. The global response is being ignored. There's experts all over the world. Dr Gabriel Leon, who led the global fight against the SARS virus, has been saying constantly for the last week and a half that we need to take action now. The World Health Organization has been saying that we have to be more aggressive and attack this virus now as well. Now, if our government is not listening to that, then I just don't understand it. It makes no sense. I've never seen so many celebrity grabbing professors, doctors and specialists hit the TV since I don't know when. It just seems that everybody's giving their opinion and nobody actually knows what to do. And when you look at the reaction on both sides of the Atlantic, and you look at the press conference that Donald Trump had the other day, quite frankly sickened me, and it almost made me throw all this away. I would have said last week that America was learning from all the countries that are infected, like China, learning from mistakes made in Italy, learning from things that are happening in Italy. When you look at the presidential news conference the other night, other than the fact that the President of America, Donald Trump, came in contact with someone with coronavirus, he actually got together all the CEOs from the biggest companies in America. He said it himself, celebrities in their own right, from Walmart, Walgreens, Target, Becton Dickinson, who do all the testing equipment, or do major test equipment, Quest Diagnostic, again test equipment and medical equipment, LabCorp, Roche, CBS Health, Mike Pence, the Vice President, as well as numerous others. And he had all these people there at this conference knowing full well that he was possibly carrying coronavirus. Strategically, if I was the enemy, coronavirus, I've just taken out half of the top generals in America. It's unthinkable. And in the next conference, he announced that he'd actually been tested, had his temperature taken, and had been tested. It's not good enough. Our own Boris Johnson did very similar. He was shaking hands. Fortunately, our own Prime Minister didn't have that many people round him. It's the only fortunate thing about it. He only had two professors, one on either side of him. But again, there's not enough information coming out. The Americans in the beginning seemed to be giving out a lot of information. It was televised when they had their meetings in Congress with all the congressmen and the scientists. Information was being televised freely and people could get that information. On the subject of information, I think we should have a public information service running by the government on the government website, where we've got public information films like we did have during the Second World War. Both America and here in Scotland and across the globe, they are working on antivirus. We actually have a group of scientists in Scotland led by, I don't know if it's led by Dr Kate Broderick. And the 6th of March, Dr Broderick was on the STV in an interview and told the interviewer that on the 11th of January they had got the DNA sequence from China and had been working on an antivirus, a DNA-based antivirus since then. So in the last 2 months they've been working on this, and they reckon that by April they should be doing clinical trials. So although it is hopeful, people are working on it around the world. In America they've got 7 antiviruses that they're working on, and a couple of them are actually hopeful. This was reported at the last meeting of Congress. So there is hope out there. And even though the financial situation isn't looking good, and the FTSE and the Dow Jones is taking a hammering, at least we can take some satisfaction in knowing that the share price in Andrex has went up. It's quite important that things stay as normal as possible within our community. There's a lot we can do for each other. I gave my elderly neighbour, who's in his 70s, late 70s, I gave him my phone number just in case he might need something. I would say to do the same. Please do take care of yourself. Be patient with others. It's a very difficult time for everyone. Try and be understanding. I hope this helps in some way. There's a lot of things we can do to help each other, and I know this is not a definitive thing, and hopefully you'll come back, give me your comments, and if you've got any concerns, worries, you probably lambast me as well. Within myself, I know we're going to get through this, as we've got through many things before. I'm no expert on any of this. I will leave links below to everything that I've spoke about, and hopefully you'll come back and see us again. Please remember to take care of yourself first and foremost. Do watch Dr John Campbell's small video. I'll leave a link for that as well, on how to wash your hands properly, and he also does cleaning surfaces properly. I know it sounds really stupid that we don't know how to wash our hands, but this is in a clinical way, and hopefully you'll come back and you'll leave a comment below. All the links will be below for everything that I've spoken about today. Hopefully the situations that we've spoke about will get resolved, both with the government and the DWP, as well as the supply of equipment to the National Health Service. Thanks very much for listening. Thanks very much for watching. Please do come back again. Take care of yourself, first of all. Look after those around you, and try and be patient with others. It's going to be a difficult and long time before we get back to normal. Take care. Bye for now.
As the illness is now being
What
called,
is your best
spreads
estimate
far more
of how many
rapidly
people around the
than
world
SARS.
will
To
be
contain,
affected?
to delay, to research, and then to mitigate. Come to the sink now to
Illness
wash
is
my
now being
hands.
called,
And
spreads
I don't
far
want the
more
water hot,
rapidly
and I
than
don't want the water
SARS.
cold. I want